Really proud of how we finished the game and our toughness down the stretch of getting stops when we needed to, and really just being, showing that resilience defensively and rebounding. We got key rebounds, we got key stops, and then, made a free throw to kind of put us up 3, CC, and I thought that took some resiliency, missing the one, especially as a freshman, then coming back and having to hit that one to push it to 3. And then, these guys just continue to make plays. And, obviously Barry had an unbelievable game scoring, but then also guarded Grace Sullivan, and I thought did a really great job on her. Yeah, she had 21 points, but she was 10 for 22 and, got to stop at the end and forced her into a really tough shot. So just, again, it wasn't always pretty, but like I told these guys, you look at some of the scores in the league, you find a way to win. And this league's so competitive and such a gauntlet, and everyone can beat anyone on any given day. So you got to appreciate any win you can get and celebrate it, learn from it, and then we move on to the next day. You can't get too high or too low. So proud of these guys for getting this one, and now we have a much-needed bye week where we can get a couple days off.
Barry, Coach kind of referenced it, but just that play there, guarding Grace, especially there at the end, just how you've been able to connect both ends of the floor offensively to have a career high and then defensively to make those key stops for your team?
Yeah, I think just focusing in on the possession that's in front of me. So whether it was guarding her or getting a stop, or whether we were on offense. So I think we did a great job in practice this week, just trying to prepare for guarding her and just figuring out how we were going to do it. But I think we all did a great job overall collectively.
Barry, 24 shots put up, 10 free throws, 40 minutes played. I could keep going, but that's a pretty heavy workload. So was that something that you came into the game knowing that you were going to need to be more assertive, or was that something that you tapped into as you saw how the game was playing out?
I think definitely both. Just knowing that every game is going to be tough and I have to come out with a lot of energy and do everything I can to help our team win. But also I think when the game was getting tight, just knowing that I wanted to be the one to step up and help the team and just whether it was getting stops or getting scores or just attacking and maybe getting them in some foul trouble. So I think, it was a combination of both for sure.
Aaliyah, what do you like about the combination of playing with Destiny? We kind of feel like we've heard all year that you guys have real good chemistry. Just what do you like about it?
I just like how interchangeable we are. If she was to get off the ball, she could as well. But we have a really good connection from AAU and just knowing each other. So it's really just trust within each other. And I just heard, but all of my teammates we really just trust each other and we build our relationship a lot. So.
Aaliyah, Coach referenced it, but just what's allowed maybe this team to win a game like this where you just have to kind of show resiliency there at the end when maybe you don't have the best performance that you've had as a team?
Just work and also adversity. Adversity is something that we've just been practicing and working on building off of in practices and in games. So that's just something that Coach really puts a lot of emphasis on is how do we respond and how do we come off adversity. So,
Aaliyah, it wasn't always a straightforward journey for you this season with all the bumps and injuries and various things that you had to step out for. How does it feel to have a couple of games underneath your belt where you're really getting to see the ball go through the hoop and you're getting to contribute at a high level?
It feels really good. It's motivating. It's a confidence builder. And, not only seeing the ball go through the hoop, but just knowing that everyone has my back. Coach Green really just has my back. I trust her so much. And also my teammates, it's really a confidence builder. And I just know that I can go to them anytime I am struggling or anytime the ball isn't going through the hoop, because when it's going through the hoop, I don't feel like that's the only thing that matters. So.
This is for both of you guys. There's that stretch in the second quarter where Northwestern went on a little bit of a run. They ultimately took the lead, and Coach took a timeout to kind of get you guys settled in. How do you guys go about taking the information or just the adjustments that are discussed in the huddle and then put that to practice when you come out of a timeout like that?
I think we know what Coach expects out of us, and we know when we're not meeting that out there on the court. So I think in that moment we realized that there was things we needed to fix, and we talked about it in the huddle, and I think we were all able to hold ourselves accountable and just do what we can and talk about what we needed to fix. And so I think Coach did a great job just getting on us and telling us those things, and then we were able to come out and start to go on a run.
Leah, what was the kind of mental process of getting ready for a game that you're starting? Did that change anything at all, or was there something that you had to kind of adjust mentally?
I mean, to begin with, it can be something that, just I could have gotten big-headed or things like that. But just like any other game, just making sure my mind is clear. And when my mind is clear, I feel like that's when I work best. And we do have people on our staff that help me a lot with that. So just making sure my mind's clear, doing what I have to do, my pregame routine, and then even my postgame routine, like just making sure I reflect and review on the things I did well, things I need to get better at. So it's all just preparation.
You guys,
Thank
enjoy
you.
your day off tomorrow.
Thanks.
I'm going to Ohio. Going to Barry's old stomping grounds. Yep. Trying to find the next Barry Wallace.
Questions for Coach Green?
One thing that kind of dawned on me when I was looking at the box score is that 59 of the 74 points came from underclassmen. So when you talk about like
Interesting.
a team getting a win, a resilient win, how does knowing that so much of that is coming from underclassmen kind of change your perspective or orient your perspective on what progress looks like?
I need you to be on the bench and tell me those positive things during the game. That would be very helpful. Because in the game, you don't care about inexperience or youth or anything. But I do. I came into this season saying my word was patience. Because and this is not an excuse, but I tell our kids this all the time. It's facts. I'm trying not to say youth anymore. I'm saying inexperience. So there's so many moments that in games, in practice. And that's where I even saw some growth in some areas. And I'm never going to be happy or satisfied because that's what coaches do. But there was some growth in some individuals and some collective growth, even from Michigan game that we've really talked about the last couple games, just in even leadership stuff, toughness stuff, responding. So there was a lot of good things in that. But no, we are it's crazy, right? You just said that stat. It's what this team has done really within experience and even be able to win some of these close games. You got to be proud of that. You got to be proud of that, but we're not satisfied and there's just so much to learn, so many areas to grow. But again, if you take it like that and you look at it, and I keep saying it, but man, if we can keep this team together, and continue to build, it could be really, really special because we're getting there.
Shauna, I mean, to have a 23-8 advantage and second chance points and then get to the free throw line 22 times and make 19, just how much of a difference in a game where it was this close to be able to do that? That's
all we've been talking about because we have not been rebounding well and we have not been getting to the free throw line. And you guys know us. That's who we are. That's in our DNA. We rebound and we get to the free throw line and we put pressure at the rim. So getting back to that and again, shooting 87% from the line. The offensive rebounds in the first half when we were struggling to score were the game changer. I mean, we had, I think, 12, I forget what it was, 8 or whatever at half. And we were scoring off those. So no doubt about it. Those are two things that we really, really talked about and honed in on. And we had a goal of 20 O boards, which I thought was kind of extreme to even say 20. And shoot, we almost got it. So really, really, and you could see even in the beginning of the game, Cece was all over the place. So we talked with her about just really setting the tone with your energy and your rebounding. And she was big, Barry was big, and Letty were huge in getting those extra possessions. But if we can rebound and if we can get to the free throw line, we'll be in position to win games in the last battle, which is our goal.
Start for Destiny and Aaliyah together. What do you like about that? And for somebody that had so much success with Makaira and Jen, is there any comparison to what they can provide?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can always compare in certain ways, right? And I thought I thought Aaliyah stepped up, and it's kind of with last game, Gretchen was kind of literally a game time decision, so we threw Maddie in there, and actually, I talked to Maddie leading into this game, and I'm like, Maddie, do you want to come off the bench like you normally do? Because she was in such a good rhythm, and or do you want to start? Because and she said, Coach, I want to come off the bench. And this is where I feel like, she's like, I know it's crazy. I know I never would have thought I'd say this, but so we had that discussion. She decided to come off the bench and put Aaliyah in there. And, so we just have a lot of combinations and a lot of different things. Obviously, we need to get healthy. We need to get Gretchen back. And then it's just nice now. I think this has been great, though, for Aaliyah and to get a ton of experience. Because, again, you guys said it. She's been out so much. And I don't think people understand that. That's hard. She's been out of games, but she's been out of a lot of practice. So she's finally, been consistent in practice time, game times, and really getting some great experience and stepping up. She's stepping up and being key offensively. So she's been really big the last couple of days too. So all this stuff hopefully continues to be big picture, will help us all grow in a lot of areas, and hopefully we can get healthy soon.
Coach, despite all the injuries you have, and you actually have Barry Wallace pretty much carrying the load for you on both ends, can you just talk about your trust that you have in her to be able to carry that type of load?
Yeah, I trust her with everything, literally. And we talked. I'm like, do you need me to give you a break here or there? And she's like, Coach, I can play 40. And like I said, she's just a special player. She's a special person. She wants to be elite. She wanted to guard Grace. She wants to guard the best player, and I'm really proud of her because I thought she did a hell of a job defensively. Now we're asking her to take 24 shots, and she wants it though. She wants it. She loves it, and that's where I see her stepping up now, right? She's coming into that where, okay, give me the ball down the stretch, and even Michigan, we rode her hard. Everything was run through Barry towards the end because she's that consistent, and I trust her that much. And she's just been absolutely huge for us all year. All year, but obviously the last couple games, 28, 29. What'd she score at? 26. So you got 28, 26, 29. That's crazy. So she needs a day off tomorrow and just rest up. But so proud of her and love how her leadership continues to grow too, and demanding and wanting that, all the time.
So you talked about your old coach, your old head coach a little bit. What in particular did his team do to be so effective today? Because I can't imagine it's just a matter of one team, doesn't play well enough or one team plays super well. What is it about his teams that allow them to compete at this level, especially considering the streak of wins that they were on heading into today? Yeah,
I think they're playing really well. And they have, they're a good team. They have really good players, and they're seniors. They're, Grace Sullivan, Lau. Lau's just, I love her game. I love Grace Sullivan's game. Walton's been playing with a ton of confidence lately. And they all just do their job at a really high rate. And he's a Hall of Fame coach, so he has them ready. He understands what this league. He's been in this league for a long time. And their defense, they zoned us almost. They did their blizz defense almost the entire game, and it's a different zone. It's really hard to, they don't give you a lot of openings. So that's they named the defense after him. It's won them a Big Ten championship. It's won them championships, throughout the years. So I'll tell you one thing: every team that you play that Joe McEwen coaches, they're going to be well prepared and they're going to play really, really hard. So we knew this was going to be. There's going to be a really tough game. And like I said, they had Iowa. They should have beat Iowa. They had them right down to the stretch and again, just couldn't make a couple plays. But this team's going to beat a lot of people.
Letty had one of her best games recently. How do you work with her to get her back to scoring 8 minutes, playing for almost 15 minutes and doing everything she did with rebounds? Yeah, this was, I think her best game in a long time. And we've just been with her. You guys got to also remember with her, she's, she hasn't played in almost 2 years and just continuing to, it's going to take time. So every day, she's putting in the work, she's getting extra workouts individually, in terms of basketball, in terms of conditioning, in terms of everything. So she's putting the work in. And when you do that, you know that it's going to show at some point. Just really focused on her patience with the ball and getting squared up. Because she just, the last game she was kind of throwing it up there, but when she gets squared and she gets her, squared to the rim and to the baseline, she's making those shots. So
we went to her, and that's what we need. I've been saying we need that post presence down low, especially when they're playing zone, and to free Barry up a little bit. So being able to go to her and get 8 points, and then her rebounding. That's something we've been on her a lot too, about, boxing out and then going and pursuing rebounds. And I thought she was big with that. So this was big in 14 minutes. To the production she had was very. That's a bright spot for us going into this next stretch. That's a really bright spot.
I know depth was a really big thing you felt good about coming into this season, but with Gretchen out these last 2 games, I guess what's your evaluation of what this team looks like without her?
Yeah, we look a lot different, right? We need Gretch. Like, everyone knows that. She's a great player. She does so much on both ends. She's a presence. Other teams, she's at the top of the scouting report. So we need her. I mean, I wish I could say something else. So we got to get her healthy. Hopefully she'll, continue to get there and get her back. But it's also some of these things sometimes, as obviously we went through this a lot last year, right? And injuries are the unfortunate part of this game, but there are also opportunities for other people to really step up, and what are you going to do with it? And I think, some of this, has allowed Aaliyah to get more confidence and get a lot of minutes and great experience. So now Gretchen gets back, that's going to help us down the line. So you got to look at all of it, and try to find the positives. Otherwise you're just going to be beating yourself up all the time.
I guess just following up on that, I mean, prognosis for how long Gretchen might be out for, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, we're literally day to day, just working to, in recovery, rehab stuff, and hopefully, get some of the inflammation down, and hopefully she'll be ready to go next game. But you never know, so day to day right now, Joe.
I know Barry does so much, but even just watching last game and throughout this game, seems like her defensive activity has stepped up another level. Is that something that you guys are coaching directly to her, or is that like an intrinsic motivation that she's taken upon herself to bring up that level of her game too?
I think it's both, but I think a lot of it's within her. She's such a competitor. She wants to guard the best player, and we're trying, as coaches, we think about it's not that she can't guard someone, but we're also asking her to play 40 minutes and do all this, and then so there's times where, like, I'm telling her, we're going to put you on and maybe another matchup, but it's not that we don't believe you can guard them. It's just we also trying to find a breather for her, right? But, she really wants to guard the best player, and she takes pride in that. And if she's not, she, it kind of makes her mad. And I love that. Like, I love that, because those are the type of players you want, that want the challenge, that, I'm always like, I'm begging someone, hey, who has the pride to be like, I'm going to stop the best player. I want that, coach. Like, let me match up with that person. So those are players, and if you come and you say that and you want that, let's go do it, So that's where I'm really proud of her. Like, she's continuing to get better defensively, and there's some things even against Michigan that we learned, and we got to work with her and some of her ball screen coverage, guarding a guard. Today Grace was more inside, so just a lot of still growth for her. But the one thing you have about Barry is elite competitor, and she wants to be just the best every single possession, every single day, and that's a coach's dream right there.
I know that you got the better part of around 5 or 6 days or so before you take the floor again at Nebraska, but how important is a gap like that in the midst of just like really intense Big Ten play? And what is the emphasis beyond just getting healthy and getting back to where you guys need to be as far as competitive-wise? In
my time, in my 3 years here, whatever, I feel like this has been the hardest stretch of a Big Ten play. Like, our schedule was hard in terms of teams, in terms of styles, and then in terms of, no days off, really. It's been really, and then you throw in having an injury to one of your main guys. So now, it's been the hardest stretch we've had. So I've never really been as happy about a bye week as I have been right now. I think we need it mentally, physically, emotionally, especially with the younger team. You have a lot of freshmen playing. They haven't been through the grind of this. So, it's well needed. Now we get into, we can obviously recover and then we can worry about ourselves for a day, which we haven't been able to practice like what we really need to get better at because we've been so into prep. So there's a lot of things I wish we had a ton of practice time to practice, but you don't have that. So we'll have one day of just really focusing in on us and fundamentals and basics and getting back to that, and then we'll be into prep, 2-day prep for Nebraska.
In terms of development, what are you seeing out of Destiny? I feel like you've been talking about her all year, but this is another game where she doesn't sub out in the second half and she didn't have any turnovers and a 3-point win. Just what are you seeing out of her that's just impressive?
Because usually if you think about a freshman point guard, you think turnovers. That's the first thing that would probably be the area. But I thought she takes good shots. She doesn't force anything. I love that about her. She's just very poised. And I didn't even realize that she didn't come out in the second half, right? So that's the next thing, her motor and her endurance. She can go and you don't think she's tired because she doesn't get tired. So just all those intangibles, her ability to keep people in front of her and sit down and really guard people and then just facilitate. She's continuing to progress in her ability to be vocal, to be that leader out there. The thing I love most about Destiny is how hungry she is and how coachable she is, and she just wants to get better every day, and she is going to listen to anything you say and she's going to go work on it. And when you got someone like that and from your point guard, then she's able to learn because she's if she's stubborn, if she doesn't think she knows, then you're not going to have the learning curve like she has. But she's just so coachable and she takes it in. She's a sponge and she's very honest and very self-aware with herself. And so she's getting better. It's amazing. What she's done is amazing. If you really, like you said, when you really reflect on it, it's really amazing as a freshman point guard in this league, playing the minutes she does, take care of the ball that well.